This is the 2024 Nissan Z Heritage Edition, a limited edition run of the Z to celebrate 55 years of Z. And next to it is Kurt Rosolowski, and he's going to tell us what makes the Heritage Edition stand out. Now, Kurt, the first and most obvious thing I'm seeing is this big, bright orange paint. Is this a Heritage Edition color?
It is, yeah. It's unique to the Heritage Edition. It pays homage to the S30, the first Nissan Z from 1969. Same with the wheels, and the front fascia are all unique to the Heritage Edition, and the design is all inspired by that car.
You mentioned S30. It says S30 right there in this black stripe that starts on the hood. S30, is that the chassis of the original Z?
That's correct.
And this look right here, we've got this really interesting black fat stripe that goes up, but then we have a little bit of orange stripping right here.
Yep.
Is there anything significant about that, or is it just looks cool?
Just looks cool. Yeah, mainly what I really like you mentioned, is the shadow graphic of the S30, the color that pays homage to the car, and the racing stripe that goes all the way back, all the way to the trunk lid.
Now, you said this color is just for the Heritage Edition, and that means you have to get the Heritage Edition to get this color. It is the only color offered on the Heritage Edition, and it's not offered on any other Z.
That's correct.
So you said the front fascia is unique. Can you tell me how that's different as well?
Yeah, so those familiar with the base Z will be familiar with kind of the large opening of that car. This has sort of a split grille design, and those familiar with the S30.
So upper bodywork lower.
That's correct, yeah. That's very reminiscent of the S30 design for the front of the car.
Yeah, and that's something that this latest generation Z generally was kind of an homage to Zs of the past. Different generations pop out in different styling elements. This one specifically is to pay extra special attention to the original 240. And another way that it does that is with the wheels. So these are 19-inch wheels?
That's correct. They're the same size as the performance model, which this car is built off of. But obviously they have a much more retro look, again, reminiscent of the S30 original Datsun Fairlady Z.
Okay, but as you said, this is based off the Z Performance. It is still a staggered setup, so we have nice wider tires in back than we do in front. I'm looking and I see 275mm section width in back versus...
Yeah, in front is 255.
So nearly an inch wider in back.
Yep.
Okay, and then above the rear tire, we have this nice badge right here. Nice little Heritage Edition right there. And this is the original Z logo, is that right?
That's correct, yep.
And then as we look up, I'm seeing this cool graphic follows the roof as well.
Right.
What about this top window trim right here, this sharp aluminum that runs all the way down? Is that unique to the Heritage Edition?
No, that's shared with the Sport and the Performance model, but keeping that design element in was important for kind of keeping it true to that Heritage Edition look, as well as kind of molding right into the family of the current Generation Z.
Well, I have to say, with the orange paint, it really does stand out. All right, well, let's look at the rear of the car. First of all, we have that graphic that continues on the rear again, ending right before our rear spoiler right here. Is there anything else that's unique about the rear fascia here?
Not so much the rear fascia, but on the rear fenders and the front fenders, there are additional over fenders to add to kind of the stance of the car, which personally I really like. And you can kind of tell from the rear that it gives it that very good look. So these guys
right here.
That's right.
That's a little extra bonus for the Heritage Edition.
That's right.
And then this Z right here, is this Z any different than the typical Z Performance or Z Sport?
That's the same as the Z Performance and the Z Sport.
Okay, very, very good. And this is purely an appearance package, but the Z Performance is the higher performing Z of the two. Now, it's not a Nismo. You get 400 horsepower instead of 420, 350 pound-feet of torque instead of 384. But you can choose between a 6-speed manual or a 9-speed automatic. And you do have Z Performance things, and that includes, I believe, a limited slip rear diff. And what else does Z Performance have over Z Sport?
Yeah, the Z Performance, like you mentioned, has the limited slip 1.5-way rear diff, the larger front and rear brakes, which include fixed calipers over the floating calipers that are on the sport grade. And then, like we mentioned, the 19-inch wheels and tires.
Because the Z Sport comes standard with 18s.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Is there anything unique about the interior?
No, the interior is pretty much unchanged from the performance grade car. Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a quick look just to remind everybody. The last time I was in a Z was when I drove it, and it was lovely. Now, this one in particular does have the 9-speed automatic.
Right.
But we do have heated seats, which on this nice August day, right along Woodward, is not necessary. But then we have what looks like a fully digital instrument cluster and another digital center display right there. We got these nice gauges right along the top of the dash here, and nice heavy bolstering on the seats. And these are manually adjusting seats. And I have to say, I'm happy to see that, because manually adjusting seats, way less than powered seats. So that takes a little weight out of the car. So that's always nice to see. Is there anything else, Kurt, that we should look at for this Heritage Edition Z?
I think the best part of this car is if you're lucky enough to find a 1969 Fairlady Z, pull up beside it with this car and kind of see all the elements that they share, and then get in this and drive it. And it's a lot of fun.
Well, Kurt, I really appreciate you taking the time to show us around this 2024 Z Heritage Edition. And I should have mentioned at the top, we are right behind Woodward. It is Woodward Dream Cruise Week, so it is a very fitting time to look at some new sports cars. Kurt, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.